Saving money can feel like a daunting task, especially if you think that everyone is absolutely miles ahead of where you're at. So that's why in this video, we're going to go through the average savings in the UK and see how you compare. We're going to go through typical savings accounts along with pension pots as well, so you can get a broader overview of what you can expect. However, before we jump in, I've just got a couple of disclaimers. First of all, I'm not a financial advisor, so you could just not listen to a word I say. And second of all, averages are very skewed in the UK, especially with the super wealthy being part of them as well. So just when you're watching this video, take it from that perspective. You might be far behind of what you think is the average, but you might be close to what is suitable for your area of the country. And just remember, you are on your own journey. It doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. This is just to give you a broad overview. So first of all, let's look at your typical old savings accounts. What does everyone have on average in the UK in their savings accounts by age? So the first age group we're going to look at is 18 to 24-year-olds, and the average savings for an 18 to 24-year-old is £2,533. From 25 to 34, the average savings is £4,775. From age 35 to 44, the average savings is £6,751. From 45 to 54, the average savings is £14,591. And last but not least, 55 and above is £35,607. And depending on many factors, you might look at these averages and think, that's not enough, or that is a lot. It depends on your age, where you're from, how you view money, and many other different things. For example, you might be an 18-year-old who has only just got a job, and you're looking at the average savings being over £2,000, and you're like, how have people this age got £2,000 already? They should have only just started, surely. But obviously, some people are going to be 23 or 24 with a job for almost 6 years, whereas you're 18, only just starting out. So you've obviously got to consider these things too. And also, people might just be earning more than you at this current moment in time. You might be literally just jumping on to a new field of work. You might have changed job and now you're earning less. You might have only just started in the career that you've been hoping to start for a while. A lot of these factors will change depending on so many different factors. So obviously don't take too much from this, but it obviously shows that the UK definitely needs to save more. So now that your typical savings account is out the way, let's look at the average pension pot by age in the UK. So according to Office for National Statistics, Jesus, easy for me to say, the average 16 to 24-year-old has around £2,700 in their pension. 25 to 34-year-olds have around £9,000. 35 to 44-year-olds have around £30,000 in their pension. 45 to 54 have around £75,000 in their pension, and 55 to 64 have around £107,000 in their pension. Now, once again, you're going to get sick of me saying this, but obviously, everyone's pension situation is different. You might have only started your pension when you're 40 years old and now you're trying to make up for lost time. Or you're a 20-year-old and you started at 18 years old. You knew about it. You asked your employer to get you straight on the scheme. And now you're well on your way to building wealth. It can also depend on how generous your employer is, whether they're willing to go up in match. So let's say they only do the minimum of 3% match. They change that and actually go to 4, 5, 6, and even some employers match at about 10%, which is just silly, but good, obviously. And then also how much is in your pension depends on how much you earn as well, because obviously it's taken from a percentage of your salary. I don't know what that was, karate chop, but it's taken as a percentage of your salary. So obviously if you're on more, then that percentage is going to equal more money. So you're probably thinking to yourself, what was the point in making this video if you're literally just going to spout all the averages and make me feel really bad? Well, first of all, it is good to compare yourself sometimes. I know it's not great to do it to people on social media, but also it can give you a real kick up the arse. Because you're probably thinking to yourself right now, you're either doing extremely well and you really want to continue on that path, or you're on the other spectrum and you really are not in a good situation compared to the averages. Like I said, obviously everyone's situation is different, but this can be a real motivator for you. And if you're on that spectrum of not being able to save enough and you feel like your financial literacy is not at the level it should be, there's only a few accounts that you need to open if you want to start saving more. And that is the ISA. Obviously, you're contributing towards your pension and you're contributing towards a high yield savings account as well. Because especially by opening a stocks and shares ISA and a lifetime ISA, you will be setting yourself apart from the rest of the country. 6% of people have a stocks and shares ISA open. I mean, that is a tax-free way to invest into different companies around the world to multiply your money instead of losing it all to inflation. So yeah, as we wrap this up, I don't want you to just take away that I'm screaming at you to save more money. There's steps that you need to take first. You need to look at your money psychology, and then you look into the steps on how to actually save more through pensions, ISAs, and all that malarkey. But if you have any questions on videos you'd like to see in the future, or any comments to do with high yield savings accounts, ISAs, pensions, leave them in the comments below. And if you like content like this, then subscribe for more as well. It really helps me out. So I'll see you guys next time for another personal finance banger.